Hi guys, this is going to be a very quick, no-nonsense news update. We've got 10 things to cover today, 4 of which are good and 6 of which are bad, and we'll cover them in order of least bad to the most bad. But we'll start with the good. Treyarch have patched the issue where sprint speed while reloading was slower than intended. This was introduced into the game maybe 5 days ago now, something like that, and it's now finally been resolved, which means that speedrunners are going to be able to start getting proper times on the leaderboards again, and also means that if you've been having to toggle on the setting to allow sprint to cancel reload, you can get rid of that now, and you'll still have your proper sprint speed while reloading. Next, Krieg and Sorg Dark Spine camo challenges are now tracking correctly. This has been a bug since they were introduced at the start of the season, but you can now safely get Dark Spine on your Krieg and Sorg just fine. And number 3 on our list here is actually a similar thing, and that's the Box Addict Zombies Dark Ops challenge is now tracking properly. This has been an issue since day 1, and I've seen a ton of people that have jumped into game and really tried very hard to get every single weapon out of the box, and they just don't get the challenge. And it's like, guys, what the hell? Like, I'm wasting my time here. This is taking hours. But apparently, according to the patch notes at least, this has now been fixed. Let me know if it works for you in the comments down below. And our final positive is the hit list event has begun. The way this works is you've got personal eliminations and you've got community eliminations. The community ones will unlock new attachment types and things like that as we go along, including the hand cannon score streak. And the personal eliminations will unlock a loading screen, calling card, emblem, weapon charm, and then the power drill melee weapon. Now let's move on to the negatives. Starting with something sent in by one of you guys, and I'm always really appreciative of this. If you guys want to send stuff in to me on Twitter or on my subreddit or on my Discord, that's always really helpful, so thank you. But Q142 here says, when you've got a game paused and your timer expires, normally what's meant to happen is the game is then meant to instantly save and quit you, and then you can reload back in and just restart the round as normal. But the problem is, if your in-game timer expires while you're paused with anything less than full HP, the game thinks, oh, this person doesn't have full HP, so they can't save and quit right now, so you just lose the game. And that's that. And that is so bad. It absolutely cannot stay working this way. So Treyarch, please make a change to this. This is dreadful. Next, I've seen a lot of people having really big issues with their classes saving. So for example, as you can see in this tweet here, Bob has none selected in his primary and secondary. And this is happening across different modes. And it's a really big problem because a lot of the time you'll spend a good amount of time working to create the perfect loadouts and get them all saved, and also setting your zombie builds and stuff like that as well. And if they're just getting reset, then all that time is being wasted, right? So this is another one that is really inconsistent since this most recent patch. But Dooney in my Discord has found something even worse with this. So if you have the Mecha Drake variant of the Sorg, after this patch, it is busted, and if you load into zombies with it, because of what they've screwed up in the loadouts logic of the game, you load in and you don't have a gun. So you're just playing civilian mode, I guess. Like, you're an NPC now, I suppose. And yes, I know some of you guys have probably seen this bug before where it does this, but then if you just hit the change weapon button, it fixes it, but it doesn't fix it here. You genuinely just have no gun, so you can't use the thing that you paid for in multiple ways. The game and the gun. Wild. Next, the hitboxes for heavy zombies are apparently busted. And this isn't something that I, admittedly, have experienced in my games, but I've also not been really obsessively grinding camos, and I know a lot of you guys are really big camo grinders, so this is probably affecting you in the games you're playing to this day. Supposedly what's happening here is that with specific heavy zombies, the top half of their head just doesn't have a hitbox, so you'll shoot, and then weirdly, you do get the sound like you're getting a hit marker, but they take 0 damage, and so you have to shoot basically into their neck in order to take them down. It's very strange. Now, I have noticed a similar thing with regular zombies where sometimes you'll get them to 0 HP and they basically still stagger around a little bit before they die. And in that time, you can still land hits on them, and it's just really confusing, I think, for a player. I think it's just poorly designed right now. So maybe this is a consequence of that system, but maybe it's just that the heavies specifically do have a broken hitbox. Now, I've seen a lot of other people saying also you can't get crits on heavy zombies if you one hit them, but I think that's actually potentially intentional because heavy zombies have armor and you can't crit through the armor, right? And so if you're one hitting the zombie, you're just hitting the armor. You're not hitting underneath the armor. And that's why if you're grinding camo challenges, you shouldn't actually be grabbing insta kills because then you'll just instantly get armor kills, which is not a crit, instead of the headshot, which is a crit, but you need to break the armor first. Next, all medals have been reset in the zombies barracks. So if you go to the medal collection in the barracks, you'll see that every single one of them just says 0 medals earned. That sucks. Next, all intel has been reset. So if you've been grinding trying to find every single one of those intel locations, no, you haven't. You actually didn't do that. You hallucinated. Yep, it came to you in a dream. Sorry about that. And before we get to our biggest one, there's also just a heads up, the close call is still not fixed, if you guys have been paying attention to that. But the main issue with this patch is the fact that they've reset everybody's save files. And I've had so many of you guys contacting me and saying, hey Milo, I just had around 250 plus game, which I had a save file saved for because I wanted to continue it once they fixed the vermin rounds, for example, from Carter here. And now that round 250 game is just gone. That's so much grinding for Treyarch to just make disappear in the blink of an eye. And it really, really sucks because remember the round 999 race where everyone was trying to get to 999, but it was taking a really long time? Imagine if this patch dropped during that race and everybody had their save wiped. Like, it would be disastrous. And just because the race is over doesn't mean it's any less important now. It's still a really big deal to just completely get rid of someone's game. Like, they just press a button and, oh, sorry, nope, that game didn't happen. Like, this affects the most casual of players up to the most hardcore, and there's a cynical voice in my head that says, what if Treyarch paid less attention to preventing save file erasure with this patch than they otherwise could have done, because they were like, if they lose their save file, they'll just jump in and have to grind even more, and it'll get us more playtime, right? Like, what if that was the thinking? And if that is the case, like if they weren't paying 100% attention to save file erasure prevention, then I think that's an issue, and it's something I'd like to see Treyarch reprioritize in the future. So as always with these patches, it feels like 2 steps forwards with Treyarch and then 1 step, or depending on your kind of play style and the way you're interacting with the game, maybe 3 to 4 steps back. So scroll down to the comments, see what other people are saying, drop your thoughts down there as well, and I'll see you tomorrow or later today for more no-nonsense news.